Lesson 2 covers basic HTML. So you are going to learn the basic structure of a web page. And you will also be transferring your pages to the web. You're going to start with the lesson overview. This basically covers what we will be doing this week. And as you can see, there is a reading assignment, and that will give you some basic background on information that we are covering. Then you're going to go through the lecture demo, which expands on what that reading material covered, gives you a lot of additional examples and ways that the different HTML structure tags are used. There is a textbook assignment, which is more directive. There are videos that show you how to do everything. And then once you complete that, you will work on the lab assignment. Typically, these assignments are non-directive. They normally have minimal requirements that you have to incorporate into the page. However, the first lab assignment is going to be a page that you link all of your assignments into. So this one lab assignment is a little bit more directive. The other ones are not. And then finally, there is a discussion forum on award-winning websites. I also want to mention that we do have tutoring available for this class. There is drop-in tutoring available on Thursdays. There is a link under course resources that tell you the location and time. You can also apply for one-on-one virtual tutoring. But to get that, you do have to fill out a tutoring form, and the director will then reach out and contact you and try to figure out a time where you can virtually meet the tutor. And so that is what we have on board for this week. The web-based readings, now it does look lengthy. However, if you click on the links, you will see that the reading is short. In fact, this is a longer one. Most of them are even shorter than that. Okay. And they're just kind of giving you the bare bones on what this information is. Does not go into a lot of depth or give you a lot of examples, which is why you are going to want to go through the lecture demo, because this has a lot more examples. In fact, the objectives tell you all of the structural tags and the semantic tags that we are going to be covering this week. Okay, so we kind of give you a little overview of what the lecture demo contains, and then we get into the content. Once you finish that, you are going to go through the textbook assignment. And as I mentioned, there are videos that show you how to complete these various tasks. Quite often, I will give you pages to download, and I do that this week as well. If I can find the link. All right, that one you're doing on your own. Here is a link. So you don't want to left click on this and try to save it. What you should do is right click. And that's what the directions say. Right click, save link as, because that will save the HTML page without giving you a bunch of extra files and folders. Okay, and that is definitely what you want, is just the HTML page. So make sure you right click and save it that way. Okay, and there's little screenshots throughout that show you what it should look like, plus the video that you can look at. Here's another file that I am giving you. So make sure you right click on that and that you don't left click and try to save it as a page because it will create additional files and folders. And that will mess up things that we are going to do in future weeks. Now, once you are done with this, you will be transferring it to the web. And there are instructions on how to do that. In order for you to transfer, you are going to need a username and a password, which I will be creating later today and sending to you either today or tomorrow. It is Labor Day. So this is September 2nd. So you will get your usernames and passwords either September 2nd or September 3rd. So please don't delete them. If for some reason you can't find it, just send me an email and I can forward the information to you. This explains how to use FileZilla to transfer your pages to the web. And there's also information on, well, what if I make a change to my file? How can I get my new one up there? So there's information on that. And then some additional FileZilla commands that are useful. Finally, we get into validating a page, and don't get too hung up on the validator. The validator is very limited in what it can do. Sometimes it'll mark the code as wrong when it is correct. It does not like nested tags, even though nested tags are allowed. It will give you errors and warnings on them. The browsers will display nested tags just fine. The main reason I'm having you use the validator is to catch typos. Okay, and so if you make a typo in a tag, it does not flag it as an error because the editors can be used for HTML, but they can also be used for XML. And XML is a language where you make up tags. So it doesn't, if you go through the validator, it will be looking specifically for HTML tags. So if you have a tag that is not an HTML tag, it will catch it. Okay, and that is the reason I'm having you go through the validator. At the bottom is your grading rubric, so you know where the points are, kind of how they're spread and what exercises are worth what points. Once you finish the textbook assignment, then you are going to work on the lab assignment. And the lab assignment is typically, as I mentioned earlier, non-directive, but in this case, there are a lot more directions. One thing I forgot to mention about the textbook assignment is that after you get done transferring it to the web, you should look at it live and make sure that everything displays right. Okay, and to look at it live, it's just lisaballback.com/ and then whatever your username is. Okay, so make sure that you check your pages live. In fact, I'll bring up a former student. So this is a completely different class, but you guys will have a 180 folder. She has a 190. Okay. And then this is her assignment page. So eventually you will have something like this where I can just click on the links and go look at your pages. Okay. And at first you will not have this. So let me see what she's got here. So to see your pages, you'll just have to open folders. So once you open up your 180 folder, you will see a lesson 2 folder that you can click on, and then you'll see pages that you can click on and display. So this is kind of like what you see in the Windows Explorer, except for it's on a web server. So you can open folders, you know, you can go back, you can display anything by clicking on it. That's pretty much how it works. Just make sure that you always check your pages so that everything looks good. And then you can come into this assignment Dropbox, click on text and key in the word done. Whoop. Oh, goodness. Hopefully you are not having a bad typing day there. Okay, submit that. And that's really all you need to do to submit the assignment and let me know it's done. The lab assignment, as I mentioned, is typically not very restrictive. There's usually minimal requirements that you have to meet. This one is a little bit more detailed because you're going to be doing an assignment page. Okay, and so this is what your structure should look like, but obviously you're going to put your name in here. Okay, and you're going to put your name down here and the copyright with the current date. And I'm going to pause so I can pull one of these up offline so you can see it. All right, I'm going to pull over the 180 folder that I created in my documents folder. And you can see I have a couple different versions of assignments. Okay, after lesson 3, where you are actually adding links, yours is going to look something like this. You'll have some kind of a background graphic. You'll have some links, and these will take me to the different pages in your assignment. To start with, though, you're not going to have any graphics, and you're just going to have the plain text. Okay, and so that's what this is going to look like. Eventually, after lesson 10, we're going to be changing this page and creating some pull down menus. Well, actually, this is not lesson 10. This is after you do CSS. So after lesson 4, you'll be modifying this page once again and actually making it look nice. So you can see I have the background graphic, but I have added all sorts of bells and whistles to this. Okay, and for every week, what you are going to be doing is adding in links to your textbook assignments and then adding in links to the lab assignments as well. So this is the page that I will go to when I correct all of your work. So you are starting this page this week, and you are just going to be entering the HTML structure and the plain text. Next week, we'll make it look even better with graphics and links. And the following week, you will have something that looks more like this. Okay, you'll have CSS added in. Once you have your lab assignment transferred, you will come in here. And again, you're going to want to make sure you're going to want to check it live. Make sure everything looks right. And then you'll come in here and submit done. And that's just a notification to me that I need to go correct it. And then the last thing you need to do this week is a discussion post. So you are going to search on award-winning HTML sites. In fact, you can take this and copy it. And I'm going to put it right in here. I'm going to press Control and V as in Victor to paste that. Okay. And then it does not matter to me, what site you pick, because this is just your opinion. But this will kind of guarantee that you have the HTML5 sites. And quite often you'll see they do like a review. Okay, so then you can kind of find one that you like. Or that you think is interesting. And then you can visit the site. Okay, and if it is something that you like, click up here, Control C to copy, and then you'll go into the discussion, hit reply, and to paste the link, what you're going to do is go in here to link. And then you can just do Control and V. Oops, I did not actually copy it. Control C, Control V. Okay, so you will have the link to the site, and then you will indicate what you liked about it and also what you didn't like about it. Okay, so I'm going to cancel because I do have an example for you to look at. And if you come through here and you don't have enough posts to reply to, you can certainly reply to mine as one of the 2 posts you need to reply to. But here's mine. It's actually a game produced by MailChimp, and it was kind of strange, but I actually enjoyed playing it. So here is the link. And, basically, to me, they were just trying to advertise MailChimp. So they got a quirky little game to do it. So you guys can check that out and see what you think. And that is the last assignment for this week. Everything else is optional. We do have on-campus tutoring available. There is also live one-on-one tutoring. I believe I put information in the overview about that. Yes, I did. And then if you want to know more about differences between HTML5 and HTML, this article will explain it. But basically, HTML5 is an extension of HTML. They basically added a lot to the language, so they gave it a version number. Anyway, as you're going through here, if you have problems with anything, please let me know, and I will be happy to help you. Have a great week, and I am looking forward to seeing all those pages online.